Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media. Please go down there. Please follow me across all of my social media platforms. Talk to me and I will talk back. Also has links as well to my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. So with that said and done and put to the side, I'll come to talk to you folks today about some recent Jets signings and what I think the New York Jets should do with the 23rd pick in the first round that we have. So you look at some of the signings the Jets have made recently. They were able to re-sign Bennett Jackson. Bennett Jackson is a guy that, is a guy that's kind of a depth safety for us. Guy that made, some noise on special teams. That's mainly where he plays. So I really like that they brought him back. He's a guy that can help out, especially some of the injuries that we suffered last year. He can come in and do his thing. But again, special teams, I think, mainly is going to be a place where he is the most impactful. We also signed Corey Levin as well from the Tennessee Titans. This is, again, another depth guy to really put in the mix of this offensive line depth here. He's a guy that's going to help out just in case some guys go down. I don't expect him to step in and be the immediate starter. I look at him the same way I look at Dan Feeney, a guy that we signed in the offseason in free agency. Guys are going to be there just in case anything happens and goes down. They're going to be able to step in and fill in for a game or two or a play or two if a player goes down or something like that along the offensive line. So now I want to talk to you folks about the 23rd pick in the first round. Let me tell you something. You look at this situation here, and I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that only want to focus on the second pick in the first round because that's the only thing they care about. They're saying to ourselves, we're getting ourselves a young quarterback in this draft, and whether it be Wilson, Fields, some people like Mac Jones. There are also some Jets fans that want to take a look at Trey Lance and possibly have him be a New York Jet, to each his own, right? But I say to myself, okay, we're taking a young quarterback in this draft. We have to get it right with the 23rd pick as well because we need something to help support this young quarterback, whether it be defense or offense, right? We need to continue to build this football team out because, again, and I know a lot of Jets fans don't want to hear this, we're still in a rebuild. Okay, we're still trying to acquire talent for this football team. There's some fans that literally think once we draft a quarterback that we're going to be in the playoffs immediately, and I believe that is highly unlikely. Okay, because we're still trying to acquire talent. So here are some of the options and ways that I think the New York Jets could go to really help push this football team along, especially at positions that we still need. So for me, number one, offensive line. I look at the 23rd pick and I say to myself, Vera Tucker from USC, boy, let me tell you something. If he's still there at 23, you take him. All right. You look at this position group here along the offensive line, and not much has been done. I brought up earlier we signed Corey Levin. He's a depth guy. Dan Feeney's a depth guy. When you look at it, nothing much has been done. Mekhi Becton, in my mind, is still our best offensive lineman by far. We still have issues in interior. I do not want to start this season with Lewis or Van Roten starting. I do not want that at all. Those guys have got to be moved on from. We saw them struggle last year. I do not want to go into another season and watch them struggle, particularly because if they struggle, again, like we've seen them struggle in the past, that will greatly affect our young quarterback and his progression and us being able to assess his progression as well. The same way that Sam was running for his life will be the same way that the young quarterback that we draft this year will be running for their life as well, and I do not want that. I think you bring in Vera Tucker. I'm an SD guy. I watch him. Young, strong. He's a force. Right now, yes, he does play the tackle spot, but he can swing inside. That's where a lot of analysts have him at anyway. So I think we bring him in, pack him into the interior. I think we should go offensive line in later rounds as well to continue to build and better the offensive line. But for me, Vera Tucker is the guy you immediately got to go with. Next idea, I think, for our 23rd pick, wide receiver. I know that there's some Jets fans I've had discourse with. We've gone back and forth. And they've said, hey, we like Corey Davis, we like Mims, but we don't really know if we have a number one. We don't really know, if we really think that our wide receiver core is set. We need to add one more young gun. And I think that Kadarius Toney is a guy that can do that from the Gators. Let me tell you something. This kid had 984 yards this year. He can come in and be a solid set of reliable hands for our young quarterback to go to in the clutch. So when you look at the situation, our wide receiver core, I like Davis. I don't, a lot of people don't think he's a number one, but, in my mind, he could probably be a number one here for sure. So I like Davis. Mims I like as well. He's shown quite a bit of ability, but durability is a big question mark for him. He did miss time last year. Then you got Crowder, who is a guy that I like as well, but he's more of a slot guy. He also missed time last year. And then you got Cole, a guy that we signed too. Cole is a guy I think is really going to come along in this offense as well. So if you add Kadarius Toney to that, we become really explosive. So I like the idea of doing that, especially, some of the tough teams and tough defenses we're going to play this year. You need as many weapons as possible. And in the past, right, offensively, we've struggled having reliable weapons for young quarterbacks, and we don't need to continue that trend going forward. So Kadarius Toney is a guy I think we should look at as well at number 23. The next position I think we should look at number 23, cornerback. Whoa, let me tell you something. Bless Austin, big question mark. I watched him get cooked all last year. I am not confident in him going into this season. I look at Bryce Hall and I say to myself, Bryce Hall showed some promise, but I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's a number one. I don't know if he's a number two. I don't know going forward what he's going to be. And this cornerback, position group as a whole still needs some work. We're still wondering who's going to be the slot corner. So I'm looking at Asante Samuel Jr. from Florida State. Let me tell you something. This dude gets after it. Like father, like son. You know what I'm saying? This dude gets after it. So I'd like for the Jets to take a look at him. I know corner for a lot of people is like, do we really need to go there? And I would say, I wouldn't mind it because there's a need there because we have some holes. We definitely have some holes. We really gave up, quite a bit of yards in some games this year, really getting cooked, by opposing wide receivers. So Asante Samuel Jr. is a guy that I think we should look at 23 as well. And so next for me at 23, I'm saying to myself, hey, how can we continue to bolster this defense? What do we need? And for me, if the Jets look at this and there's some guys here that can affect helping us in the pass rusher for me at 23, I wouldn't mind it. Some guys that I think I would be interested if they were there. Guys that I would be interested in. Gregory Rousseau from Miami. Whoa, let me tell you something. We've got guys. We just got Lawson. That's probably the first pass rusher we've had in years. I'm talking years. For years, we've had to send blitzes and all that stuff to get to quarterbacks. Lawson will be able to get to them down after down after down. We like some of the guys that we have here already. Quentin Williams, who is phenomenal. We think he's going to be even more disruptive. We like John Franklin Myers. We've got some guys, but we need to add a young guy that's really going to be able to get after it as well. Quick legs with speed and bend and get around the edge and really wreak havoc on people. We need more than one pass rusher in this league. You look at the various teams that are continuously competing year after year. They have, one or two guys. Some of them even have 3 or 4 guys that they just bring in waves. So I like Gregory Rousseau from Miami, but I also like Jalen Phillips from Miami too. All right, Jalen Phillips, if he's there, I can see the Jets taking him as well. So pass rusher 23, Rousseau or Phillips. I would be interested in both of those guys as well. And for me, the next option and the final option for the Jets in my mind, option that I'm, huge on, is for the Jets to trade down at Miami, or trade down at 23, excuse me. I look at this situation. If the Jets trade down, what that does is allow them to accumulate picks, particularly at that low first round, high second round, spot, and really eat up. Those rounds there. So I like that idea as well. We've seen in the past where people have really been able to collect really solid players in those in those spots. We saw the Colts get Pittman last year, high in the second round. And we saw the Vikings get, Jefferson, at that low first round. So there's so much, talent to be had there. I think the Jets should also look at that as a big time option, especially when we're still trying to build out this football team and figure out what's going forward. And we're trying to get as much talent as we can in here. So to me, if the Jets trade down, into lower in the first round, I think there's options there to collect more picks again in this year's draft and continue to build out, especially some, late mid-round picks, maybe a third maybe even a low second round pick to a third, I think would be good. Also, you look at guys that could be there in the bottom of the first round. Zaven Collins could be there. Samuel Cosme could be there as well, you know, at the offensive line spot. So there's some options there, man. But I really do think that the Jets, you know, they need to get it right at 23 as well. We need to make sure that we get an impact player in too that can continue to help bolster this roster. So please comment down below, guys. Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel that we should handle the situation at 23? Who do you think we should take? You know, what position group would you look forward to? Do you want to see the Jets take a pass rusher? Do you want to see the Jets take a corner? Is taking offensive line for you at 23 a priority? Let me know. Let me know. So comment down below. We'll go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.